So here is something that most people don't understand about addiction. People don't just become addicted to a substance or process like gambling or playing video games, for example. They also become addicted to mood altering. In other words, people become addicted to escaping their feelings, and this is at the core of why most people fail at breaking free of addiction. If you're operating under the misconception that the problem is, for example, that you are only addicted to a substance, then in your mind the solution will be to simply quit using that substance. Unfortunately, this does nothing to address the addiction to mood altering as a coping mechanism, and this is why most people who have approached their recovery that way will eventually relapse back into using. The only way to overcome an addiction is to realize that the problem beneath the compulsive use of a substance is this over-reliance on mood altering as a way to cope. Then you have to gain an understanding of how that happened and how it plays out in your life, and also develop new, healthier ways of coping that promote a healthy way to live in whatever life throws at you, rather than one that just creates an even bigger problem. What happens when people try to tackle their addiction by simply quitting a substance and doing nothing to learn new, healthier coping mechanisms is that they become what we know as dry drunks. They often manage to get a lot of clean time that way. Many of them have had decades of sobriety by doing it that way. But unfortunately, they are not much healthier than when they were actively engaged in their addiction. They are basically white-knuckling their recovery, which is essentially just hanging on with the sheer strength of their willpower. Of course, their lives are better than when they were using, but they really haven't changed any of the unhealthy beliefs and coping strategies that they developed in their addiction, and eventually the abstinence-only strategy often backfires. Usually what happens is that they eventually experience something either really painful or very stressful, and since they haven't developed new coping strategies, they just go back into using because they can't handle the stress or the emotional pain. In my 30-year career as an addictions counselor, I have worked with hundreds of clients who failed in their recovery because they didn't understand the importance of developing healthy coping skills and changing key beliefs that predispose them to develop an addiction. Learning healthy ways to cope with the painful experiences that life inevitably brings is an absolutely essential skill to develop in recovery. It's called emotional maturity, and it needs to be a cornerstone of anyone's recovery plan. Overcoming your addiction is absolutely possible. Thousands of people do it every day, and you can do it too, as long as you have the right knowledge, tools, perspectives, insights, and guidance. Recovery from addiction is a pretty complex thing, but I have a bunch of resources on my website, including a course that helps people overcome addiction and teaches them all of these skills. You can check it out. I hope this information was useful to you, and thanks for watching.